Another short video covering the installation of the micro engineering wood tie version of the Neo new end option 3D printed track fixture. This particular one was printed by Xometry in my quest for another supplier other than Shapeways. We're on the Stemmons Freeway portion of the Dallas Union Terminal module set. These two tracks right here were TNP, then Missouri Pacific, and now Union Pacific. This bridge in real life doesn't actually exist, but is a combination of two bridges that were built, one of them being over Stemmons Freeway, the other one being just west of that. Crossover that allows right-hand running traffic to then gain access to the passenger lead turnout, which then mates into the section of Tower 106. So a key thing on this, and I can't state this enough, and this is where we're going to have to really rely upon the skill of the individual modeler. This is something that just can't be engineered out. And unfortunately, if the equation is junk in, we're going to get junk out. The screws that go into this fixture, the number 2 brass screws, and these are the bolt depot. No secret that what these are, number 2 by 3/4. And when we get into the orders of selling these and shipping these out, these will ship with these screws, unless you have a need to order a bag of 100 of them. They're not expensive, but it's $10, $11, $12 to get a bag shipped to you. But these will come, they'll ship with twice the number of screws required. These screws are, of course, they're brass, so they're subject to marring. And you're going to need a sharp 1/8 inch flat screwdriver. If you try to set these with a rounded or dull flat screwdriver, all you're going to do is wind up marring the tips on these. If you do mar the tops of the brass screws, all you need to do is take a little needle file, go across the tops of them to clean them up. So the 2 near screws I've already set, and using a short piece of rail. If you've got a piece of bridge rail laying around or just spare rail, make sure that there's no burrs on the other side. We want this rail sitting flat in the fixture. And we want to run the rail across the top of the screw head. And we want to make sure that it's not catching. We want to make sure that the screw at the highest point is flush with the base of the rail. But you can also go a little bit deeper into the fixture and you can have the screw set a little below the base of the rail. If we have a little bit of an air gap, that's not going to be a problem. When we solder the rail to the screw, the solder will close that gap. The problem we run into is if the screw sets higher than what it should in the fixture. And this is an exaggeration, but you can see how the rail fixture is going to hit that and not go forward. But getting outside of the exaggerated position, when we get this screw set, if it's just a hair high, there is a point where the rail can still climb above the screw. And this is a little bit exaggerated still, but we can actually get a little bit of our ski slope. The same problem that we've been seeing in Freeway, we could actually introduce with this fixture, trying to fix that very problem. So you want to make sure that your screw head is at or below the base of the rail. And again, if it's a little bit below, see this is catching just a little bit. So this needs to go down a little bit further. But again, if we go too high, we're going to have a problem. If we go a little bit low, it's not going to be an issue because we can close that gap in there that's still catching just a little bit. So getting these screws set to the proper height or the proper depth into the fixture is a critical step on this. And here we need just a little bit more.